Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I never expected to make another video like this one because I think a lot of people have been talking about it already. But then I just saw yesterday the press conference of the International Boxing Association, also known as the IBA, and it kind of sort of confirmed a few things that I talked about in the video that I posted, wherein I asked, is Imane Khelif male or female? And I stand by my thumbnail, which is um, she owes an apology, which I do think that she does. I just think that um, I'm gonna respect her pronouns because I do think that Iman really did grow up as a gender norm of female. But with regards to this video of mine, again, I will reiterate, it is not a medical diagnosis. This is just my opinion. I am just talking about the possibilities here. I am not diagnosing anyone, and please do not use this for any type of official document or litigation or anything else. Okay, so to continue, so basically, people have been divided with this issue. They claim that Iman is male, they claim Iman is female. The issue is some people are focusing on the gender role, which is man or woman. And my opinion for that one is for you to be able to say a man is a man and a woman is a woman is you have to base it on male or female. And although I am a member of the LGBT, that's my belief, but I won't force it on anyone. If you want to be that way, go ahead, you can be that way. But sometimes I won't be able to share with your ideas because I have my own ideas, you have yours. And if you're not my special someone, we are not going doing intimate stuff. There's really nothing for me for you to force me to acknowledge you. Okay, but I am acknowledging you as a human being, and I think we should just leave it at that. So I am going to respect the pronouns of Iman here. When in my video, I talked about several conditions that Iman could possibly have, and one of them is Swear syndrome, wherein she has female genitalia but with XY. There's actually two types here. Just have the 46XY and then the 46XY DSD. And what makes them different is that the pseudo male hermaphroditism, which is I think what Iman has, is 46XY DSD. And that's very important because, as the old term implies, um, male pseudohermaphroditism means that Iman is chromosomally male, and it's just that the outer genitalia that she has presents as female. And I will be explaining a couple of things about that one. I tried to look for good sources, and we're gonna try this one. So I found this is actually very nice. It is a very nice document. The only thing is you actually have to pay $50 to view the whole document, but I think this is an official document in itself. So DSD is basically disorders of gonadal differentiation, sex chromosome DSD. You have here I the term is kind of difficult to understand right now because some people say it's differences of sexual development, and some people say it's disorders of sex development. So we have to differentiate those things, I guess. So this one uses disorder of sexual development. And you have here the 46XX, disorders of sexual development, or otherwise known as a female pseudohermaphroditism. I know there's a wrong spelling with that one. That's why I'm kind of like hesitant in using this document. But this sums up all of the documents, to be honest. Other than the one spelling that I saw, wrong spelling, all of it are at least close enough. So, female pseudohermaphroditism, it just means that the individual is female but is presenting, you have here, external genitalia of a male. But the from what I remember, the individual would be producing estrogen and will have feminization instead of becoming muscular. That's the female pseudohermaphroditism, and I don't think Imane has that one. So you also have here classifications of disorders of sexual development or sex development. You have here gonadal differentiation. I explained about Klinefelter syndrome, wherein uh, it's a chromosome-based disorder wherein a male individual would have XXY chromosomes, so an extra X. And I understand that some people know about the XXX um, syndrome, Down syndrome. It's That's not the proper term now, but I will try to research back on that one. So we also have, we already talked about this one initially, female pseudohermaphroditism. The asterisk here is because it is an outdated term. It's now 46XX DSD. And these are the different causes for 46XX DSD. Then you have the 46XY DSD, male pseudohermaphroditism. And this is what I was talking about. I am so sorry about my phone. Wherein this is what I think Imane Khelif has. And I'm also talking about Lin also. Lin is the other boxer that is being. Why is my phone? I need to put this in silent mode. There you go. So this is what Imane possibly has, wherein Imane would have female outer genitalia but would have either undescended testes or testicular bodies inside the abdomen or inguinal area. And there's a lot of causes for that one. They list a lot of things, so it's also like an umbrella term for the whole thing. And in the unclassified forms of disorders, I was actually surprised for this one. I hate this. In males, you have hypospadias. I did not think that the spadias would be included in disorder of sexual development. So what happens with this one is the urethral opening where urine comes out is not positioned properly. So in hypospadias, it's positioned downward. Epispadias, it's upward. And you also have ambiguous external genitalia in 46XY males. So, yep, they would have female genitalia, but at the same time would have a small penile structure. So there's a lot of things that could happen. So I'm not familiar with the Rokitansky-Custer syndrome in females, but we're gonna immediately go on to one of the images here. So this is the XY DSD, and we're talking about the possibility that this individual here is simulating male. There is a penile organ here, but this one has like ovaries, and you have here a uterus, kind of like a uterus, but there are levels like 1, 2, 3. But this would have testis under either inguinal or intra-abdominal. But this is what I think Imane has, this one over here. Simulating females. You have there either 1, 2, and 3. There is a uterine or vaginal canal, but there, instead of ovaries, the individual would have testicles. Now, why is this important? So, during puberty, when the testicles are stimulated, what would happen is that they would start producing testosterone, and although they have a female genitalia, they would be technically male and producing male hormones. And this image over here, unfortunately, I'm not sure if YouTube is going to accept this one, so I'm going to have to blur this part over here. And it's basically, you have here on the left side, I will post the link so that you'll be able to read the whole document. And unfortunately, I cannot read the whole document because it costs $50 to read the whole thing. And I'm still a struggling channel. I just started. Maybe in the future when I'm receiving my YouTube pay. Anyway, The individuals over here on the left is what I think would be an 46XY DSD. He looks like he's a regular boy from overall body, but then he has a vaginal opening. While on the other hand, this is like a female presenting. No, not. It's still a 46XY DSD, but it looks like male, but has a vaginal opening. Where is... I do not see the data on where it is referring ABC and what it is, but now you can see here it says only gold members can continue reading. I don't have the money for that one. Now here's the important thing. During yesterday, I think, today is 6, IBA already made a press conference, and they did not exactly say the diagnosis of Imane and Lin, but from inferring from their words, it seems that they've all but said they have different chromosomes. They are not XX chromosomes. But the problem is this: some people are dubious or doubting the credibility of IBA due to several factors, and that is they have been corruption allegations, links to Russia, and you have here somebody, this guy says, you guys didn't prove anything, your tests are fraudulent, the CIO stopped working with you for a reason, your reputation is going downhill, and hopefully we won't hear from you in the upcoming years and months. Disgusting behavior. And somebody replied, and the accredited labs that carried out the tests that the boxers signed. Now we will be looking at the whole press conference summary. So, and then we have somebody saying this one. This is a rumor on why Imane and Lin were disqualified. It's because there is a Russian boxer, Azalia Amineva, and he is... she is Russia's rising star, and the president, Khelif, the Russian president of IBA, strongly promotes. You win whatever you fight. There are absolutely no rivals in Russia. So the person is kind of implying that there's corruption involved, and they are trying to push this Azalia Amineva. Now, okay, let's read the documents itself. It's actually interesting because I'm gonna close some of the documents here because I want to open them one by one so that you guys can see them. Yep, I actually tried preparing this. Okay, so this is from the press conference of the IBA yesterday. So we are talking about the new, I think Chris Roberts is the new guy, or he's kind of like the press representative of IBA. So let's start here. We have here Imane Khelif has been participating in the IBA competition since 2018, and Lin Yu Ting has competed since 2017. So following complaints from several coaches, so it means some people were saying that that Imane wasn't was disqualified. Nobody was complaining during her whole career, and that she lost several fights, so she's not really male, but we'll see. So following many complaints from several coaches, boxers agreed to gender testing. Blood sample collection was made on May 17, 2022. So that's 2 years ago. The laboratory is System Tip Laboratory from Istanbul with a license number 194 MRK, and the report was issued on May 24, 2022, but it was after the competition ended. The laboratory detected results that didn't match the eligibility criteria for IBA women's events. Khelif won silver in category 63 kilograms. Lin won gold in 57 kilograms category. So the IBA actually acknowledges the fact that there's only one test done, and there's a possibility that one test is mistaken or erroneous. But then The lawyers of IBA was advised to monitor the situation and contact IOC. IBA informed IOC about the test, but there was no reaction from the IOC side during that time. And this is important because IBA was trying to warn IOC that male chromosome individuals were trying to join the Olympics. So, being the situation that is completely new to boxing, IBA, following numerous consultations, decided to conduct a second testing before disqualifying the boxers. But the second testing could only be done in a neutral country and within the IBA competition period. So it was only a year after, in 2023 IBA Women's World Boxing Championships in New Delhi, that they could test Khelif and Lin again, but it was with their consent. So the blood sample was collected on 17 March 2023, and the lab was Dr. Lal Path Labs from New Delhi, and the report was generated on 23 March 2023. And the findings again were similar to the first test results. And we will actually see the letters that IBA had sent out. On 24, 2023, March, Secretary General and CEO at that time, George Yerolimpos, the alleged pro-Russian president, informed Khelif and Lin about their exclusion from the championships for not meeting the eligibility criteria. The athletes received a copy of their testing and were informed about the possibility of appealing to the CAS within 21 days. Now we're gonna see the papers that they signed, which is right this one. Crap. So sorry about that one. I'm saying crap because unfortunately the IBA kind of leaked Imane's iCloud account, and unfortunately this is a public document, which means a lot of people have seen this account, and now Imane would have to change it or get a new one, because I'm pretty sure crazy individuals will be sending and flooding this email. So IBA, you fob this one up. You should have kind of blocked this part over here. Anyway, to the attention of Imane Khelif, exclusion. The document was sent to Delhi, March 24, 2023, which matches the account of IBA. Exclusion of the IBA Women's World Boxing Championships 2023 for not meeting eligibility criteria. Dear Imane Khelif, we inform you after receiving your analysis results conducted on March 17, 2023, we must unfortunately exclude you from the IBA Women's World Boxing Championships New Delhi 2023 for not meeting the eligibility criteria of IBA regulations. This decision is taken according to 4.2.1 of the IBA Technical and Competitions Rules and can be exclusively appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Lausanne, sorry for butchering this, Lausanne, Switzerland, within 21 days of receiving this communication, according to the Article 49.2 of the IBA Constitution. So George Yerolimpos, IBA Secretary General, CEO, and they enclosed the results of the analysis for the boxer only. And you can see here it was signed by somebody representing Imane or Imane herself. So, but then on March 26, the board of directors by majority vote decided to disqualify Imane and Lin. But they were still free to appeal the decision within 21 days. Since the tests are private, they did not publish the documents, which is kind of funny because when they do testing for steroids, these are medical tests. The results are usually published if they are positive or negative for testosterone or PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. But I guess this one is different because this is genetics. They didn't actually take something to change their body. Okay, maybe that's the thing. However, both Imane and Lin received a copy of these tests and they never disputed it. So they know these tests exist, it is not fake. Lin did not choose to appeal, so the decision against her became legal and binding. And on May 12, 2023, this is the part where I could really say that it basically confirms Imane and Lin have DSD. On May 12, 2023, IBA amended its technical and competition rules. After internal discussion, it was decided by the board of directors that IBA competitions will be conducted only between male athletes and female athletes. Participation of DSD athletes, differences of sexual development in boxing competitions were found dangerous for health and security for the boxers. So they have here the definition: individuals with chromosome XY, women, female, girl, individuals with chromosome XX. And in 4.2, eligibility of gender, it's women versus women, men versus men. To determine the gender, boxers can be submitted to a random or targeted gender test conducted by IBA. In case of adverse result, will be notified immediately. And in case of adverse result, disqualified with immediate effect, preventing from competing in further IBA-owned sanctioned competitions of that gender. For this purpose, IBA will share such information with the relevant internal bodies respecting its confidentiality. Now this is important because they did share the information to IOC. Now on 14 April, Khelif did appeal to CAS and IBA paid its share of the procedural costs, maybe they're 50-50, which demonstrates the good faith of IBA. On 17 July 2023, CAS issued termination order and terminated the proceedings because the appellant did not pay the cost of the proceedings, and it's either Imane does not have the money to pay for it, or she knew the results likely would be not in her favor. So in particular, the athlete provided to IBA a number of medical documents which were examined by the IBA Medical Committee. On March 23, 2024, IBA Medical Committee issued this report about the eligibility of Khelif. I thought it was 2023. Yeah, okay. So they had a final decision. It took about a year to make a final decision. So on April 12, 2024, IBA committee confirmed again that she is not eligible. This kind of basically confirms that she has DSD. So her profile in Elite Women Light Welter was removed from the IBA database. She did not appeal against this decision of IBA. IBA does not want to comment on the private life of a person, especially for Imane, because she lives in Algeria, which is a predominantly, or it's an Islamic nation, and they have different views on LGBT, especially on transgender people. Although I did find that in some Islamic countries, they would actually be okay if somebody who is homosexual would transition to female. And some countries actually force homosexuals to transition to female. I'm not sure with the female to male though. So there's some sort of issue with that one, but we will see. So it can be dangerous for other female boxers that we have already seen during the Olympic Games. Therefore, she is not eligible to participate in the IBA competitions. IBA don't really care on how they identify themselves or what is written in the passport, but they have the rules that you need to have either XX or XY to fight against XX or XY respectively. Now the thing is, you might wonder, because IOC said that IBA did not inform them, but there's actually proof. Although it was sent via email, and unfortunately the email address of the individual is shown here, and this could cause issues again with spam and crazy people trying to break to the email or hack it. So we're gonna just skim through it. Kit McConnell, Olympic.org. So you have here, in the spirit of our positive discussion, IBA is pleased to support PARI 2024 and the IOC qualification system. And they're talking about here, as discussed, we were informed of the statement from the Algerian Olympic Committee confirming the possibility of Algerian boxer Imane to participate in the women's events in the upcoming qualification tournaments for Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So they are saying there. Yeah, this is the part when you could really say IBA definitely just outed the diagnosis of Imane. For your information, please find IBA definition of woman, female, girl, an individual with chromosome XX. For this purpose, the boxers can be submitted to a random and/or targeted gender test to confirm the above, which will serve for the gender eligibility criteria for the IBA competitions. Now, the disqualification took place after IBA had conducted 2 gender tests which concluded the boxer's DNA was that of blank, obviously, chromosomes. The first test took place in Turkey, second took place in India to reconfirm the test. Now they did attach the confidential laboratory results, but then again they have in their constitution that they can be allowed to do so with another organization like the IOC. So I will again provide a link to this one so you guys can see the documents yourselves. Now you might be wondering, like, did IOC reply? So like were they able to read the email? Did they acknowledge the email? And apparently they did. And this is the part when the IOC really made a big mistake. So like I've said in my previous video, it is the IOC who should have done something for this, because I know that it's kind of new. 8 billion people in the world, there's a possibility of a mutation, and we should be prepared. Unfortunately, these are not the exact saying that I would say is the exception does not prove the rule, but we are seeing something like this, and we have to have something. Technicality, Imane is male. That's the best that I could say, but I'm still respecting her pronouns here. So this is a letter of receipt from IOC. Now this is something that, yeah, they did. So according to their, I'm just gonna duplicate this so I will be able to go through the document itself. Just to remember, they had the testing on March 2023. This is the second testing done on March 2023. The letter that they sent to IOC and the reply itself was on June 16, 2023. But the timeline fits. So if IBA was lying, then the timeline wouldn't make sense. So we hereby, dear Yerolympus, Mr. Yerolympus, we hereby acknowledge receipt of your letter dated June 5, 2023 and its attachments related to IOC European Qualification Tournament taking place during the European Games 2023 in Poland and an individual athlete's participation. So, as per IOC Executive Board's decisions taken on June 24, 8 September, and 6 December 2022, in the interest of the athletes and boxing community, the boxing qualification events and competitions at the Olympic Games Paris 2024 will be run under the authority of the IOC. The registration of the athletes is ultimately responsibility of the respective NOC, National Olympic Committees. That is the rules applicable to the qualification events and the Olympic Boxing Tournament Paris 2024 based on those in force at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 and 2021 were published on April 19, 2023. Lastly, considering the GDPR regulations, we ask that you share with the IOC the full written consent from the athlete regarding the medical details, allowing IBA to share these highly sensitive personal data with the IOC. Signed, Kit McConnell. Now what happened here is IOC tried to wash its hands of the sorry about that, tried to wash its hands of the whole issue by saying that it is the National Olympic Committees, respective National Olympic Committees, that decide on who they could send. But that doesn't make sense because the final decision would be the IOC. So I'm not sure why this is the letter that they sent. So we have here the first statement that IBA made on July 31. We already knew about this, that they disqualified. They did two tests. So they had their first statement. And next we have here the eligibility rules of IOC and why both were allowed to play. It's the same document, or they reaffirmed their first document. So then IOC claimed that at the press briefing that they never knew about the case. Again, it was proven to be a lie. Now this is like a long video here. I did not watch this video in itself because it's you can find the shortened version here. So IBA had to have their own press conference, and this is the press conference that they did. You'll be able to watch this also. But everything in the press conference is found in this link, and I will put the link in the description. Now, there is a video that I'm going to show you guys. When the world was still not that crazy, people accepted that there are differences in gender via chromosomes, and people actually knew about this. This is not like a magical new thing, especially in USA. They knew about this, especially in my country, the Philippines. We already knew about this. So I'm going to show you the video. So what this video is from a popular TV series. I am going to, there you go. It's a popular TV series, and you'll be able to see why it's popular. There you go. Okay, you'll probably note that this is from Dr. House, and it is a popular TV series in USA. And what happens with medical TV drama series in USA is that sometimes they take actual medical files or stories and try to make an episode about it, but sometimes the episodes are highly exaggerated to provide entertainment. So this is not a medical lecture. I'm just showing you that USA already knows about the condition of pseudohermaphroditism. So I'm gonna try and let you watch the whole thing, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Cancer. No, it's cancer, but he has cancer on his left testicle.
I don't have testicles.
She's not a guy.
His DNA says you're wrong. Frogs and snails and puppy dog tails. You've got male pseudohermaphroditism. See, we all start out as girls, and then we're differentiated based on our genes. The ovaries develop into testes and drop. But in about 1 in 150,000 pregnancies, a fetus with an XY chromosome, a boy, develops into something else. Like you. Your testes never descended because you're immune to testosterone. You're pure estrogen. which is why you get heightened female characteristics like clear skin, great breasts. The ultimate woman is a man. Nature's cruel, huh?
This is obviously a joke. It's impossible.
No, a joke would be me calling you a homo. See the difference? I'll schedule him for surgery.
No, you're wrong. I'm a girl. Look at me. How could you say I'm not a girl? See, they're all looking at me. I'm beautiful.
That anger, it's just the cancer talking. Put your clothes back on. I'm gonna cut your balls off. And you'll be fine.
So, just for context, it's an exaggerated case of male pseudohermaphroditism because in her case, how do I say this? Because this is actually kind of weird. She has testicles, but at the same time, her case is that her testicles did not produce testosterone. That's why she continued like looking like a woman. But the fact that she has breast could mean something else because usually they wouldn't develop breasts. Now, the reason why House made a joke about the father being gay is because if I believe correctly, if I remember correctly, in this episode the father was having intimacy with his own daughter, or in this case, son. And the interesting thing is this was in USA, and considering how USA has very, very different views on gender and sex, House calling this patient as him or male would cause outrage today. It might be different today. I think if people rediscover this clip, and there would be outrage, but it already happened in the past, so I don't think you can change it anymore. I'm just going to take a look at the comments. I'm going to sort by newest first. So she is a Griffith. Okay, this was made by Brian Singer, a controversial director. It's ma'am. This is from a meme wherein a transgender individual was attacking an employee for misgendering her. Top comments. So they are not trans, just intersex, and this is something that I wanna differentiate. As a member of the LGBT, let's not mix intersex with trans. The difference between the two is intersex have actual medical diagnosis with a problem with their body that they really don't want, to be honest. Individuals with trans, I understand they have feelings that their feelings do not match their body, and that's something else. And there are the weirdos that I think have something else called autogynephilia, which is different from trans also. So, how about Philippines? Does Philippines know about this one? And it is surprising because I remember seeing a video when I was in the Philippines. I thought it was something in 2020, no, 2016, 2018, or a little bit earlier, but apparently the video was produced in 2018. This is what I am talking about. Now, we are going to be seeing a video that is in my language, Tagalog, and I'm going to try my best to translate as much as possible. You might be able to find this video. You will find out he identifies as a he now. You will find out his name, so please do not attack this person. I actually saw this person's Facebook account, and he actually reposted the issue with Imane Khelif. But the funny thing is, this guy accepts that he is actually a male and not a female. And you can see from the thumbnail over here, this was him when he was still identifying as a female, and this is now him after the ovaries, no, the testicles started producing testosterone during puberty, and the changes in his body could not be stopped anymore.
April 26, 1993, ipinanganak si Merfat.
So this guy is approximately 31 years old right now, and the old name that he had is Merfat.
Dahil unang anak, binilhan siya ng mga magagandang damit, madalas ding pinagbestida.
So when he was born, he was identified as female by the doctors because of the female genitalia that he had. The thing is, in the Philippines, we cannot afford what you call karyotyping or the chromosome test to identify if you are male or female. That is not something that a lot of people could afford. But in this case, we will see what type of test he did when he started finding out what problems he had growing up.
Kikay siya, mahilig mag-lipstick. Pero nung
And yes, if you haven't noticed, this guy is actually a Muslim. Possibly the same as Imane.
nagdalaga, unti-unting naramdaman ni Merfat na siya'y kakaiba. Si Merfat biglang lumapad ang katawan, tinubuan pa ng balbas at lumaki ang boses.
So I'm gonna assume that during puberty, he started developing secondary sex characteristics, which is different from females as to males. So males, secondary sex characteristics, development of the Adam's apple, the broadening of the shoulders, the body, facial hair, different stuff compared to females. And people with pseudohermaphroditism, if they have one functioning set of gonads, which is either ovaries or testicles, they will start to develop on that direction. Now, this is the difference between a real hermaphrodite that would have two sets of gonads, and different from somebody with absent gonads, such as Sware syndrome, wherein there are no gonads at all, or just streaks of the gonads or the tissue.
Heto na siya ngayon, lalaking lalaki.
So, other picture was of him as a female or identifying as a woman, and now that is his picture.
Mula sa pangalang Merfat, nagpapakilala na siya ngayon bilang si Maher.
Ito po yung ID ko nung ako'y nasa first year high school.
I'm just gonna do a little bit of age calculation, because he's now 31 minus 24, so 2023 minus 7. So yeah, this was produced in 2016 and upload in 2018.
Ako pa po ay namumuhay bilang isang babae dito. Nangangalang Merfat Muhammad po. Na-realize
So yeah, he grew up as Merfat Muhammad, and you can see that first semester Merfat, that is approximately 12-14 years old, and this one he has a license. This is the GSIS and then Pag-ibig license. He already has a male gender.
ko na po na kailangan ko na pong mag-transform sa pagkalalaki. Ito po yung aking identification card nung ako'y nag-aral sa Universidad ng Mindanao.
So when he realized that he had to start identifying as male, that's his new ID in University of Mindanao in Davao.
Alam ko na po dito ay Maher Borhan po. Pag may nagtatanong kung sana daw yung si Merfat, sabi ng ibang ko, wala na yun, patay na yun.
So he's making a joke that if people are looking for Merfat, his old name, he jokes that that person is dead.
Pero paglilinaw ni Maher, natural lahat ang nangyaring pagbaba.
So see, this is really so different. Like, if you would look at this picture, you would really know that he is female.
Bago sa kanya.
Hindi naman ako dumaan sa kahit anong operation to increase yung pagkalalaki ko. Kung anong ko lumaki hanggang ngayon, wala. Hindi ako
So he claims that he did not go under any transition surgical transition, medical transition to change into male. So he is really an intersex or a male pseudohermaphrodite, and he is not transgender.
Dumaan siya ng operasyon o uminom ng gamot.
Isa siyang male pseudohermaphrodite. Tawag sa mistulang may-ari man ng babae, isa talaga lalaki.
So the narrator is using an old term, male pseudohermaphrodite, wherein having a male outer female genitalia but is actually male.
Normal lang sa isang babae yung sinasabi nilang menstruation. Datnan ka nung kada buwan. Hindi ko yun naranasan, and then yung lalaking dibdib, wala.
So he's saying that during puberty, he did not experience any menstruation and no enlargement of the breast. Instead, he experienced the broadening of the shoulder and a little bit of height.
Wala rin yun eh. Until na sabi ko kailangan ko rin sigurong pakisamahan or gampanan na lang yung pagiging babae ko. So nagsuot na lang ako ng bra para.
So it's funny because the show is actually using a straight individual in reenacting the whole thing. And what's his name again? I forgot. Merhan. He's saying that to try to keep up with his peers, the females back then, he started wearing bras to make it look like as if he had breasts.
Parang masabi nila na tinubuan na ako ng dibdib until sa nabubuli ako na bakulaw daw ako, na mukhang lalaki, na bakla, ganun.
So he got teased for being big because he did grow big. Like most boys undergoing puberty, they would start to get big. And he was being teased that bakulaw is more of like a monster, and he got called gay because he looked male but wearing female clothes.
So, yun, nahirapan talaga ako nung paano ko mag-a-adjust sa ganong pamumuhay. Eh, wala naman akong alam na gawin para maging normal.
So he had difficulty adjusting to his life because he didn't know how to be normal. And the sad part is during this time, even though like Philippines was starting to get more advanced in terms of medicine, something like this was still relatively new.
Bagamat noon pala, ramdam na raw ni Maher na siya'y lalaki. Mas lalo raw siyang kinutuban nung siya'y nagpa-medical test.
Papasok sana ako ng kursong nursing.
So he wanted to enroll in nursing, and as a nurse from the Philippines, before we enroll in nursing, we need to have medical exams, especially our physical fitness, medical fitness. We were made to do immunization, but I did not know. In his part, I think he already suspected that he had problems, which is why he underwent additional tests not really available to most people.
Kailangan ng medical. Pumunta ako agad sa clinic ng school kung saan dapat ako papasok. Chinek niya kung may dibdib ba ako, and then
So this I think this part is something that would be not true, because considering that Maher was still identifying as female, a male doctor would not be testing Maher because he is Muslim. So this might just be an exaggeration on their part.
tinanong niya ako kung ano ba yung menstruation ko, kung regular or irregular ba. So yun, nagtaka siya kasi wala siyang nakapangdibdib.
So he got asked if his menstruation was normal or not, and the doctor checking him was wondering why, because he could not feel any breast tissue enlargement.
Recommend niya magpa-check up ako sa OB.
Base sa ultrasound, nalamang wala siyang matris at ovaryo. Patunay na isa talaga siya lalaki.
So in this time, after going to the OB-GYN, after being advised by the doctor in the school, or maybe it was a nurse, the ultrasound showed that although he did have a vaginal canal, he did not have a uterus and did not have ovaries.
Dahil dito, huminto siya sa pag-aaral sa takot na mabuli. 6 na buwan din daw siyang hindi lumabas ng bahay.
Hindi po ako nakipag-usap sa mga kaibigan ko.
So he had to quit school and did not leave the house for 6 months. I thought I put this under Silent.
Iwasan ko sila, ayoko silang makausap, wala akong gustong makausap. Dinibdib ko talaga sa sarili ko kasi
It's so funny because they are using an actual male individual, and the individual is just really feeling the whole thing and acting.
parang mahiya ako mag-open up na baka yung ibang
I'm so sorry. It's just- I'm not laughing at the plight of this individual. I'm not laughing at Maher. I'm just laughing at the actor. The actor is just doing overacting, and it's just funny to me. But I shouldn't really laugh. I'm so sorry, Maher. I, I, I mean no offense at all to you and your condition.
tao, pandiriyan nila ako, iwasan nila ako.
Hanggang noong taong 2010, pinili na niyang yakapin sa wakas ang kanyang pagkatao.
So he was afraid that people would actually be would reject him because remember he lives in a Muslim community in the Philippines, and during that time, I think 2010, the acceptance of LGBT wasn't that good yet. We were starting to become a bit more accepting because of comedy queens, like for example, I think it was Vice Ganda. He started on that year, but it wasn't that accepting yet.
Sa tulong ng kanyang pamilya, unti-unting natanggap ni Maher ang kanyang kondisyon.
Lahat ng mga damit ko, pinamigay ko sa pinsan ko, tita ko.
So I remember this part because this was being discussed in some other show. I couldn't find the show anymore, but I think it was a local TV show we're in. Why the family was suddenly so accepting of Maher transitioning from female to male, biological male, is because in some Islamic communities, Muslim areas, they actually have kind of a patriarchal type of household wherein male children, sons, are more valuable than females.
Yung mga hijab ko, yung ibang litrato ko sinunog ko na kasi every time na nakikita ko yun, parang bumabalik yung alaala na sobrang sakit talaga natanggapin na.
So he burned all his old pictures because seeing them kind of hurt him, remembering he was female before having to like live like a male. So this is what makes the intersex different from transgenders.
Dumaan pa ako sa pagkaganon, yun pala, lalaki rin pala ako. Masakit lang talaga sa part yung, kasi nagsusuot ako ng belo noon eh. Ayoko talaga ipakita yung buhok ko, kung ano yung dapat na hindi dapat maipakita sa kababaihan, sa relihiyon namin. So wala talaga, hindi ko yun pinapakita. Pero yun,
So he's explaining how he had to change he had to keep on wearing the hijab because of how his religion has specific rules on how male children and female children should act.
yun talaga yung malaking impact, yung bigla ka nalang magta-transform sa hindi mo naman kagustuhan. Sa part naman,
So he said that he had to transform even though he didn't want to.
mga kaibigan ko, nung nalaman nila, sobrang iyak nila. Tapos yung iba, tumawa na lang bigla. Uy, ba't ganon? Sabi niya, yung pag nagbibihis tayo, nakikita mo lahat sa amin. Bakit ganon? Sabi niya.
So now he has to talk to his friends, which were female, of course, because in Islamic communities, teenagers and kids have to like segregate themselves from the males, and his rapid change, kind of worried his female friends that he saw them change. He saw them change their dress, and now that he's male, was it considered like haram? I kind of remember this in another TV show.
Sabi ko, mali ko ba na yun pala ako. Natulungan din ako ng pananalig ko sa Diyos na sabi ko, kung ito yung binigay mo sa akin, tatanggapin ko ng...
So this is just a little bit of maybe I'm nitpicking on the concept because I've never heard of Muslims refer to Allah as Dios or God in a Christian sense, because Dios is more on Christian Catholic naming of God. But maybe there's a difference here that I remember this scene a little bit differently. But I saw his Facebook, he is still Muslim.
walang pag-aalinlangan, ng walang pagsisisi, ng walang katanungan sa aking sarili.
Pinilit ni Maher na mamuhay ng normal. Taong 2015, nakapagtapos siya ng Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. At
Okay, this is something else also that I find interesting. While he was still living as a female, he wanted to be a nurse. But then, now that he transitioned to male, he chose a STEM kind of course. And it's just a surprising thing for me is that some genders gravitate to a specific course, but not everyone, of course. But some genders also go to another course. But I went with nursing, but then again, I'm gay, so maybe that's it.
noong nakaraang taon, nagpa-second opinion siya sa isang endocrinologist. Sumailalim siya sa tinatawag na chromosomal analysis
So that's the test that I was talking about, chromosomal analysis or karyotyping.
o karyotyping.
XY ang kanyang chromosomes.
See, this is what I think Imane has. 46XY male karyotype or 46XY DSD, as it is called today. So Philippines knows this one, and I've seen a lot of Filipinos like being shocked, like especially the liberal Filipinos saying that Imane is really she, and this is transphobic and stuff. We already knew about this one.
Papatunay na siya ay lalaki. Kanya lang, walang external genitalia or yung ari na masasabi natin na ganap na lalaki siya.
So the doctor explaining that Maher is really male, but he doesn't have the external male genitalia to really say that he is male. But then again, he is male pseudohermaphrodite, not a hermaphrodite.
Hindi siya actually hermaphrodite. Pag sinabi mo kasing hermaphrodite, ang panlabas na anyo ay iba sa
So the doctor is now explaining that a real hermaphrodite would have both, but since Maher doesn't have it, then he's something else.
Internal sex organs. So yung external na genitalia ay kakaiba dun sa internal at saka pati na rin sa kanyang chromosome. So pseudohermaphrodite yung old name noon.
Okay, so she confirms that it is pseudohermaphrodite, but the new term now is 46XY DSD.
Ayon sa pag-aaral, 1% sa kada kabuuang populasyon ang pwedeng magkaroon ng ganitong kondisyon. Ang pseudohermaphrodite pwedeng maitama sa pamagitan ng operasyon pagkapanganak pa lang ng sanggol. Pero habang hindi pa alam kung posible ba siyang maoperahan, si Maher paupo pa rin kung umihi.
Kada naglalakad ka,
So the narrator explained that if the pseudohermaphroditism was caught earlier during birth, then certain procedures could be done to kind of change the course of growth of the individual. But personally, I think that's like a really difficult thing to process, because what if the individual wants to focus on the other gender compared to the other gender? And how could a child decide? And there was a case with Dr. John Money, wherein there were twins, and one of the twins had an accident wherein his penis was burned off during the procedure, and John Money convinced the parents to convert or to change the burned off penis and convert it into a female genitalia, and it kind of messed up the lives of the twins. Now, this one is also difficult because what if Maher was diagnosed with male pseudohermaphroditism, and the parents decided that, let's remove the testicles so that he won't have to grow up with a male puberty. But what if Maher loves being male, growing up male? Because he doesn't have a fully functional uterus anyway. So see the dilemma people have to face, because this is an actual biological problem, physiological problem.
titignan ka, pagbubulong-bulungan ka, titignan ka mula ulo hanggang paa, tapos yung sa baba, titignan nila kung may umbok ba o wala.
So, people were mocking him, and they were looking at in between his legs if he had bulge or not.
Wala yan, hindi yan lalaki, ganito, ganyan yan. Hindi naman ako nagsisik ng attention sa ibang tao, pero ang gusto ko lang sanang maunawaan ng iba na be thankful na lang kayo kasi namumuhay kayo ng normal. Hanggang
So Maher is saying that he didn't want this changes and people should just be thankful instead of judging him that they are living a normal life compared to him.
ngayon po, umiyak po ako, wala akong kayang makausap, parang gusto ko sarilinin lang. Kaya naisip ko rin na sabi ko, bakit kaya kung i-post ko na lang ito sa social media, baka naman yung iba ma-aware din na yung katulad ko ng kalagayan is masabi nila o di kaya mabigyan nila ako ng tamang paggabay. Meron nang
So he sought kind of friendship with people online and to make people aware that there's a condition like his, and that to inform people that in the future if things if other individuals would have it, then they would know what to do. And surprisingly enough, he found a number of people who are also intersex. So let's read his message. I was raised as female, but I am really male. And during this time in 2016, there is no transphobia in accepting this statement, because that's the real thing. He was raised as female, but he is really male. But the thing is, he said diagnosed as true hermaphrodite, which is that is not his diagnosis. He is a male pseudo hermaphrodite, and I know you can see his full name here. Please do not attack him. Do not go to his social media pages to try and send messages to him. The guy is already living his life. Please leave him alone. So I am Maher Borhan from Cotabato City. I was born on April 26, 1993, so that would make him 31 years old now, in our house in Bagua, Cotabato City. People thought that I was a female when I was born. And at 3 months old, my father left to work abroad. And at 4 years old, my mother followed suit. So both of his parents are OFWs. And he got left at the care of his grandfather and grandmother. When I was studying, I was wearing dresses, but then I felt that something was very different with me. I tried to ignore my feelings because we know that being a tomboy or lesbian or gay is not allowed in any religion, which is that's very homophobic. But he grew up in an Islamic environment. But when I grew up and reached grade 4 would be approximately 10 years old. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 10 years old. I started feeling that I am falling in love with females. Now this is the interesting thing, because there's like a whole lot of debate wherein if a person was growing up as female, does it really influence their way of thinking that they would fall in love with males? So in this case, this is somebody that was growing up as a female but has male genitalia but is falling in love with females, even though he was being actively told that you're actually a female, you need to wear dresses, you don't have to fall in love with females because that's not allowed in our religion. So I tried to fight my feelings until I transferred to another school and had to wear a hijab and cover my whole body according to my religion, Islam. And this cut is already cut off, and I didn't find the whole thing in his Facebook page anymore.
nag-chat sa akin na sabi niya, hindi ka nag-iisa, meron pala silang group chat pang 6.
So let's just review that a little bit. There is a group of people called Intersex Philippines, and they were talking with each other, and I am surprised that there's actually a lot of people. But then again, the ratio is 1 in 150,000. So, Philippines being 100 million right now, 120, 130 million. So, there might be quite a lot of them.
Meron pala silang group.
So, you have here Reti. Why is this? Laughing, that's the way it is. Of course, I'm not saying all. Syempre, gusto ko lang lahat tayo may iba ang mindset. Of course, I want everyone to have a different mindset of how they look at themselves. When I got an operation, I thought that was the answer to make me happy. But then I was in denial. And I am accepting it now, and I'm trying to fix whatever needs to be fixed. This is I have doubts if this is an individual with pseudohermaphroditism or a transgender person joining an intersex group, but we'll never know. Yeah, even the person down here saying, yes, that's what I thought. When I got operated on, I thought I would be living a normal life and I would be happy, but there's a but over here. So I can't read the whole thing, and this is a private message. So I'm not sure why GMA is showing this one, but oh well, it's their show.
Chat, pang 16 ako na member na intersex kami lahat.
Okay, so there were 16 members. Huh, interesting.
Encouragement lang. So sabi nila, wag mong pansinin ang sinasabi ng ibang tao. Ang mahalaga, wala kang natatapakan, wala kang
So they have a practical outlook in life. Don't worry about what other people are saying about you. What's important is you did not tatapakan. You did not step on the lives of other people.
ginawang masama.
Gayunman, hindi naman ito naging hadlang para makatagpo siya ng pagmamahal.
Bago pa po ako manligaw, sinasabi ko na yung nakaraan ko kasi saka ko pa sabihin na pag kami na, baka lalayo siya mas masasaktan lang ako pag ganun nilayuan niya ako dahil sa kalagayan ko.
So, he's very practical. He's saying that he finally found love with another female, but he was very upfront with his condition, considering that he doesn't have the male genitalia to really say that he's male, and that he would rather tell the female of his new partner that he is pseudohermaphrodite. That way, if he mentions it late and during the relationship, there's a possibility that the partner would leave him. So he would rather be upfront with the whole situation and know if the individual would still want to be with him or not.
Sinasabi ko naman po, bago ko pa siya ligawan, ayun, natanggap niya, tinawanan nila ako, sabi niya, wise ka rin pala noon, no? Ginamit mo yung katawan mo para lang makakita ng ibang babae. Sabi ko, hindi ko naman din yun alam eh.
So he's laughing that his friends are saying that you're using your condition and body to kind of rizz up females and get dates.
Katulad ko po ng kalagayan, wag po kayong panghinaan ng loob. Tanggapin nyo na lang po kung ano yung binigay ng Diyos. At wag nyo pong kalimutan na mag-open up po sa family nyo, na magtanong. Kasi po, pamilya po, yan po yung pinakamalaking tulong sa atin na binigay ng Diyos.
So he's saying that to people like him, don't be scared. Talk to your family and open up. And because family is very important. So this is the last of the video. We don't have to see the credits. If you want to see the whole video again, I will put a link under the description. And it's interesting. I actually saw the comments, and let's read the comments. So, especially the newest ones. God, we have this religious nut job over here. Oh, the wife of my hair is very beautiful. Nope, it's not. It's not female genetics. He doesn't have female genes. What's this? What's this guy? Could you help? I want my breast to be removed because I want to help my mother. We don't have a permanent house. I want to be male. This is different. It's not. I'm not sure if this person is intersex. Now look at this. No offense meant, but should he be included in the LGBTQIAP+ community? He is cisgender and likes women. I hate this. This is why I'm saying that the LGBT should just shut up on stuff like this. So it is only his pseudo-hermaphrodite status that makes or qualifies him as intersexual. No, he is intersex. Sorry, I really do not know how to categorize him, because he is not part of the LGBT technically, because he has an actual medical issue. And then we have an idiot here saying this proves that transgender is natural. No, he. Uh, uh, Duh. So this person is asking, now why did his body grow big or widened, and and he developed facial hair? Well, obviously the video already explains the whole process, that he is a male pseudo-hermaphrodite. There's actually another video here, but this guy is actually a true hermaphrodite. And I will post the link so that you could see it for yourself. This video did not really research a lot of stuff. They just focused on the social aspect of the life of the individual, of how he wanted to um, just have a proper livelihood to help his family. So that's why it says here hermaphrodite souvenir maker, because that's his job. I was just gonna focus on the comments, and I'm surprised that there are people saying this. I'm also a hermaphrodite. Hi fellow, same. It's very heartbreaking. I'm also a hermaphrodite from the Philippines. That's why I'm so surprised. And why would you say this? I don't hate you. In fact, I'm mind blown. I'm shocked. This condition is real. And you have another person. Hi, my fellow hermaphrodite. So maybe I guess with 8 billion people and the numbers are growing, more and more mutations are happening. So that's intersex. It's normal in America, and there you can decide as a kid, or if the parents want to change your gender. Nope, that's not the case, because again, this is not just an individual or a parent saying that their kid is transgender. There is an actual medical condition that could be seen, that you could say an individual has pseudohermaphroditism or the true hermaphroditism. So this is an individual saying, I wish I was a boy instead, but the picture looks like she is female. Wow, look at this one. A teen born with male genitalia is pregnant after finding she has working ovaries and uterus. And this was 3 years ago. Wow, there's a lot of videos. And this is different. This is like a transgender woman. I'm gonna watch this video later and find out. This might be a case of a female pseudo-hermaphrodite, wherein there's an outer male genitalia but working uterus and ovaries. So I think that's basically it. Yeah, this is like an hour and 14 minutes. I actually made an initial video just to talk about stuff, but I wanted to cut down on the number of minutes. So, does Imane have the same condition as Maher? Highly likely. I am not diagnosing Imane. I'm just saying that there is the possibility. But people should try to remember that Imane lives in a time right now wherein the gender debate is incredibly decisive and polarizing, and I think it's a matter of self-preservation for Imane to continue identifying as female, because of the changes that, it's not just USA that's not going to be accepting of her. Imane at the end of the day will have to return to Algeria, and they might have a different view on what she is. And disclosing her medical condition might be more damaging to her, and it could be even be life-threatening, because now you would have the same issue with Maher. But in Maher's case, he transitioned, and the people around him, especially his female friends, when he was a female or identifying as female, were more accepting, and you didn't have any radical imam saying that you committed haram or a sin and for exposing yourself to the females when you were actually a male. So Iman would have that same problem because she has been identifying as a female all throughout her life, and then now the possibility that she's actually male because of her chromosomes. What about the people, the females that were changing in front of him? Because most likely Iman would have access to the female locker room. She would have access to meeting her fellow female colleagues, boxing colleagues. So, in a way, Iman is fighting for her life to stay being identified as female. And there's really no solution to this one other than people should just calm down, both sides, the conservatives and the liberals. This is something that could be solved if we just kept our cool and don't jump to conclusions. And you know, for the safety of the of the current players, IOC needs to have a better screening system for this one, and not just to accept the I identify as this and that. How do I put this? Because this is so difficult. Uh, the problem here is IOC knew of the problem because IBA told them, and IOC chose not to do anything, and that's the whole problem, the whole issue here. And that's about it. I am not an expert, I am just a nurse positing on the whole situation, finding similarities in life. Again, please do not use my video for any legal documentation. I will leave the links for you to view on your own and have your own opinion. And you're welcome to talk to me via the comments. And I'm more than welcome to discuss with you. And everyone, have a good day and world peace.